Alright, progress has been made. As you can see, we have a big gaping hole here where a strut assembly used to be. I'm rebuilding my struts because the strut was no longer damping like it should. This turned out to be a relatively easy project, but for the fact I did not order the right parts. But the actual deconstruction wasn't that bad. Let's go over here. Here's the strut assembly. I had to set this down for a second. Set this up. Don't teeter everywhere. Alright, anyway. That pin had to come out. What I did was I loosened this center pin, then I unscrewed these two end pieces, and I was encouraged because once that pin was out, that first one came off no problem, but that nut actually spun the spindle, which told me the spindle wasn't frozen inside this. I had to put that center pin back in just to hold it enough to unbolt that last nut. Once I did that, I just tapped on the edge with a hammer with that nut in place, knocked it right out, and used a drift to finish it, get it all the way out. So we're good to go here. I guess I'm just one of the lucky ones. I've heard some real horror stories about that. Next up, we did the spring compressor deal. Pulled off the spring, used an impact driver to get that nut off after the spring was compressed, pulled this apart, cleaned and drained the oil out of the cylinder, put a new O-ring in it, and buttoned it back up, cleaned up the gland nut, put some new grease on it. Had one tiny little rust spot in the cylinder that probably could impact the seal, but I mean, it wasn't big. I smoothed it out with some emery paper. There's, you know, some like 1000 grit. I don't know. I can't imagine it creating a massive leak, at least not in my lifetime. So, but I checked the action of the shock, put about 300 close to 400 milliliters in there. I think the FSM calls 340, but that's the front, and this is a much bigger cylinder, so I don't know. I just filled it up till it wouldn't take any more. I think I had about anywhere from 380 to 400 in there. I'll do the same amount on the other side just to be consistent. Oh, while I had this off, I figured why not? We did I went ahead and just loosened this one side of the brake shoe so I could get that self-adjuster out. It was okay. It wasn't frozen or anything, but it wasn't really super smooth either. So I took it out, put some anti-seize compound so I know it will spin and adjust properly. Easy to do. Just take that one piece out and pull the brake shoe out of the way. Well, oh, the real mess up that I did, unfortunately, had to do with the control arm. I didn't realize that one control side of the control arm uses a bushing that's longer than the other. Here's what I'm talking about. There's the old bushes that came out. Those came out real easy too, by the way. They weren't seized at all. They just twisted. They came right out after I took the retaining bolt out. Anyway, you can see this one here is taller than the other. Well, I bought a set of 4, all the same size. I didn't realize they're different part number. So now everything stops until I get that one, and that'll be another week. So what that'll do is give me time to go through and clean up stuff. And you know, normally I don't bother with trying to get a little bit of surface rust off, but I will. You know, like that little retainer there, I can clean up and paint it and such. Here's the old spindle pin. Came out. And if you look closely, I don't know if it'll show up on the camera. Let me see if I can get that little defect. Well, take my word for it. Right in here is a little nick. You can barely see it there. That would make it just hard enough to pull that thing out. Otherwise, it slides in and out really easily. The new ones I got just slip right in and out. This one's really in pretty good shape, and it's not rusty. A little bit of surface rust there. Nothing you couldn't clean up. But I got new ones. I'll replace them. Why not? Got new parts. I got new bushings coming. Outer bushings for that thing. Yeah, let me get a little closer. Hold on. Right over here. That's where those ones I got. That one of these is longer than the other. That's the problem, and that actually that just slipped right off. But now I'm contemplating, should I go ahead and replace these bushings when I got it out? You know, I've got them on order. They'll be here. I didn't know what kind of condition they were in when I got the thing. So I don't have a proper press, so I'm not sure just how involved this is. I might go down to Harbor Freight tomorrow and see what I can get, but as long as I have it out, I'd like to replace them. And you know, I'll probably, this is already pretty much knocked off the loose rust. I might put some of that rust converting paint on it and just call this a day. You know, I'm not into like concourse quality stuff. I would just like to make it sure it doesn't get any worse than it is. But yeah, I've cleaned that all up, and overall project's going smoothly. I'd have it all put back together if I had the right bushing, so you know, my bad. But it wasn't that bad. I guess got lucky. I got a relatively rust-free car here. Let's take a look underneath when we got it all apart. Excuse me. All right. Yeah. It all looks pretty good. I'll probably replace this this thing right here. I've got an extra one of these bushings. That top one looks okay, but the bottom one looks kind of chunked up. I could replace them both, I guess, but then I'd mean moving the mustache bar out completely. I'm not sure if I want to get all up into that or not. But this one looks like it'd be easy. I could just support the mustache bar and replace that one while I got it up. I got a lot of surface rust, but you know, that's just on like the diff. That cross member there is a pain in the ass to get out, so excuse my French. So I don't know what I'll do. I'll probably just knock the rust off and bolt it back up. I don't feel like trying to wrestle it around the exhaust to get it out. I guess I could just drop the exhaust down a little bit and get out. I don't know. The cat's all rusty, but I guess it's just the way it is. Maybe when I get around to doing the transmission swap, I might get back into this because I'll have everything more out of the way. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Oh, I was thinking about doing that insulator right here on the diff insulator, but it looks in really good shape. So I couldn't get that damn 17mm bolt off either. I think there's a nut on top. It's a bolt and there's a nut on top. That ain't happening. So I have a new insulator, but you know, again, I bought it in anticipation, but I'm not going to bother. There's a little belt here that retains the top of the diff. It looks like it's in good shape. It's not broken or anything. But as you can see, I mean, it all seems to have a lot of its original factory undercoat. It all looks really solid. So I think I just got real lucky on this particular deal. Just way down there you can see a little bit of surface rust on those frame rails. Maybe I'll go in there and paint some of that rust stopping. I think I just, you know, just a little bit of surface rust. I've already picked at it. Back of the car. Anyway, and now I'll go ahead and start working. Oh, that one you can see that diff bushing insulator is really shot. I don't think you can see it very well. It may not be showing up, but it's really shot. So we'll do that too. Anyway, that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed the rear suspension work. I got to get some new bushings for the sway bar. They're kind of chewed up looking. I'll do that. Just a quick update on how you do it. Yeah, you just disconnect the brake. I've got it capped off. This is the fluids. This is the e-brake. You loosen up these connections, get all the tension off everything, and you know, it's just not that really hard. You know, surprisingly easy, really, as long as it's not frozen up, I guess. And you know, more later. Thanks for watching.